What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to get a mod that I've been thinking about getting for the longest time, and it's a super popular mod, especially for people that are modding their Tacomas and they have bigger tires, bigger wheels, that kind of thing. So stay tuned. We're driving there right now. I'm meeting up with a guy and we're gonna get this installed on my truck. Alright guys, so right now I'm on my way. I'm about 10 minutes out from meeting up with this random dude that I met on Facebook that's going to do a tune on my truck. So he's going to be doing two things: the TSB tune, which I'll talk about in a second, and the OVTune. So if you don't know, there is a TSB, I think it's a technical service bulletin, out for the Tacoma ECU programming for the transmission. So this TSB is supposed to help with, you know, the gear hunting, the lag and the power band and whatnot. So just getting that alone would be super helpful for the truck. You know, I experience all those things. I experience the gear hunting, I experience the lag. So I'm excited to get that done alone, and then the OVTune should be adding on top of that, you know, a little bit more power, maybe better shift points and gear selection and whatnot. So I'm excited to do that. Just so you know, the TSB, you can get that done at Toyota, and it's kind of like a recall, but it's not a safety recall. The thing about a TSB is they're technically not obligated to fix your vehicle for free for a TSB. So some dealers are cool and they'll do it for free, some will charge you a little bit, and some dealers just flat out won't do it. So if you're interested in getting the TSB, I recommend reaching out to the dealers around you, seeing if any of them are willing to do it, or maybe just pay the small fee to have it done, or whatever they charge. So the reason I'm getting the TSB through this guy is because my ECU needs to be updated to the latest version so that he can do the OVTune. So he's going to be doing the TSB tune, flashing the ECU for that, and then putting the OVTune on top of that as well. Alright, so I'm pulling up right now. This guy kind of requested that, you know, he didn't want to be on camera. He's a little camera shy. Didn't want to be interviewed or anything like that, which I totally get. So I'm not sure how much footage of the actual tuning process I'll be able to get, but I'll try to get as much as I can for you guys. So it looks like there's a couple of Tacoma guys here already getting tuned. So I'm going to turn the camera off for a little bit and go get my truck tuned. Alright, so the tune's on. This is my raw reaction, first test drive. Gonna go ahead and put it in gear and see how it goes. Not really sure what I'm expecting, but let's ride. Oh, throttle's definitely a little bit more touchy. So right now, while I'm test driving, I'm gonna try to not be on the skinny pedal too much, because I don't want to, you know, sway it at all. But throttle response is definitely a little bit better as I'm speeding up. Oh yeah, okay. So it definitely got rid of like the little bit of a lull that I hit normally. It definitely feels, there's a difference. It's kind of hard to explain. Yeah, for sure. So when I'm on the pedal and I want to do like a little bit of a launch here, but there's definitely like, it's more responsive, if that makes sense. So throttle response is definitely better, and the shift points seem a lot better, a lot more natural. You know, there isn't like a little bit of a lull. Let's take off. Alright, yeah, so the shift points are definitely a lot better. It holds the gears a little bit better. The true test is going to be when I get back on the highway and seeing if, you know, it does the gear hunting, especially when I have the rooftop tent on the back. The gear hunting got terrible with that on highway speeds. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Like I said, throttle's definitely a little bit touchier. You know, it feels like it's holding the gears a little bit longer and staying in that power band a little bit better than before. So I'm really happy about it so far, but we'll keep driving, and I'll give it a couple days before I, you know, make my final decision on this, and I'll give you some updates so you kind of get an idea, just not like the initial impression. I want, like, if there's a honeymoon phase with this, I want it to wear off before I give my full like review and thoughts on it. So I'll keep you guys updated. One other thing that I noticed is, like, you know, when you're kind of coming up to like a red light and then it turns green, so you're like slowing down and you speed back up, because of that throttle response. Now when I do that, like, I'm slowing down, when I press on the gas to speed back up, it's like seamless. There's no like lag or lull or anything like that. So super nice, and definitely worth the money for it. One really big thing that I'm noticing right now with this tune is kind of like I said with the stoplight, slowing down and speeding back up. When I'm in traffic and I'm kind of coasting a little bit, you know, I let off the gas, I coast. Typically the truck would upshift, I think upshift, and so when I get back on the gas, it like lags a little bit, like the power's not there. With this tune, if I let off the gas and, you know, coast for a little bit and then get back on the gas, it's in the same gear and it's ready to go, like the power's there. Alright, so on the highway driving right now, not really sure if you can see, going about 70 at 2100 or about 2000 RPM. So what I'm noticing right now, overall the truck feels so much smoother. So, you know, when I was merging onto the highway, it was staying in the gears, it wasn't switching all over the place. It felt really good. And right now, like even now, I just fluctuated. I went up to 75 without realizing, because it's just smooth. So like I press a little bit more on the pedal and it goes. It doesn't drop a gear trying to like keep up, which is awesome. Like I could probably go up to 80 right now without it even switching a gear. Alright, so I'm not sure if you just saw that. I went from 75 to 80 without it switching a gear. Alright, so one big test that I want to do is I want to see how the cruise control reacts to it, if at all. So by the way, I'm going uphill right now. Look at the RPMs. It didn't drop a gear and I'm still going the same speed. It's actually kind of crazy. But so I'm going to set my speed to 80. I'm going to get behind this car up here that's not going 80. And then I'm going to go out into a different lane and see what happens, see how the computer reacts. Alright, so sorry about the sun, by the way. So I'm at about 70 miles an hour. I'm going to get out from behind these so that the TSS sensor makes me get on the throttle a little bit, and we'll see what happens, if it still ramps up really fast. Wow. Alright, so unfortunately my video cut off a little bit at the end there. And by the way, I am sitting down, I'm not standing up, I'm not very short. I had a few people in a previous video ask me if I was super short, but no, I'm just sitting on a stool, so that's why I look so short. So what I was trying to do in that last clip is see how the cruise control reacts to the tune, basically. Previously with the stock setup, when you're behind a car on cruise control and you get out behind them and your cruise control is set to a higher speed, it will hammer down on the gas pedal, on the accelerator, going up to like 5,000, 6,000 RPM just to speed up and get caught up to the speed that you have the cruise control set to. So what just happened there with the cruise control with the tune is it didn't hammer down super hard to try to catch up to the speed. It just went up to like 3,000 or 3,100 RPMs and gradually increased the speed, as opposed to just hammering down and trying to get there as fast as possible. So that was a super nice and unexpected benefit of the tune. All right, so as far as my final thoughts on the OVTune, it's been about a week, honestly like a week and a half, almost two at this point, that I have been driving around with this OVTune. And there are a few key points I want to make about the tune and why I like it so much. All right, so the first thing that I like about the OVTune and I kind of alluded to this earlier in the video, it holds the gears really, really well. And what I mean by that is when I'm driving and I let off the pedal a little bit, it doesn't upshift trying to get to that sixth gear thinking that I'm trying to coast, and it's not trying to save gas mileage. What it does is it kind of holds the gear, it stays in the gear, so that if I need to speed back up again, it's in the right gear and it doesn't have to drop shift through 4 or 5 gears to get back to where I need it to be. So that is super nice, and it makes the truck feel a lot smoother when I'm driving. It's not constantly shifting, trying to be in whatever gear it thinks is the right gear to be in, which Toyota is wrong about anyway with their tunes. So with that, the gear hunting is solved, it's gone, and it makes the truck feel so much better to drive around town. The second thing is the gas mileage. So it's been about, like I said, 2 weeks that I've been driving around on it, and I've gone through all of my normal drives that I make throughout the week. And previously on those drives where I would be getting maybe like 14.5 to 15-ish miles per gallon, I'm now getting 16 up to 18 in some circumstances. So there's definitely a significant difference of 1 to 2 miles per gallon with the tune, and that's not changing any driving styles. If anything, because of the tune being a little bit more responsive with the throttle, I'm driving it harder than I was before. So there's definitely a big difference there, and I'm excited to see how it works long term if I continue to get better and better gas mileage as I get used to the throttle response or anything like that. And then the third and final thing that I love about this tune, and I've talked about it before, is the throttle response. So when I'm stepping on the gas pedal, the truck is moving, like it's going. The guy mentioned that he did tune it to where the first gear, when you first step on the pedal, is a little bit touchier, and I'm okay with that. I've already gotten used to it a little bit, but I do still have a little bit extra get up and go on some of my takeoffs just because I'm not fully acclimated to it yet. So once I'm used to that, it's going to be a lot better, and it feels better overall. In my opinion, it's worth the price paid for it. You know, people are selling these tunes for around $150 to $200 up to $300 in some circumstances, but I definitely think it's worth it. And if you're experiencing these things that I was talking about with the gear hunting, the lull in the power band, or anything like that, definitely get the tune. It's going to change your truck, and it's going to make it way more enjoyable to drive your truck on a daily basis. All right, guys, so that wraps up the video. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Drop a like on this video if it provided any value to you. And again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.